is Chris from Deus Ex Machina, and I am with
Nicole.
And we are here to review Dread Draw by Upper Deck. It is a
dreadful game.
Easy. Let's see how the game is played first. This is Dread Draw, claiming to be a strategic card game of press your luck competitive fortune telling. Yes, you heard that right.
Every word of what you just said was wrong.
The large box offers ample room for sleeving and potential expansions. Perusing the cards, we notice the impressive illustrations dominating each card, each gloomy and or slightly disconcerting. The upper left number indicates the card's strength, the red dots the card's damage. Names are, as one would imagine, meaningless, and despite claims to include fortune telling, nowhere does the game explain how to interpret the cards, as they don't match any classical system of cartomancy I know of. Not that it would convey anything useful, but folks still bury crystals into the ground during a full moon to ensure plentiful crops, so what do I know? And by the way, there are 102 cards included, with only one not being duplicated. Each player receives 10 cards face down to form each life deck. Don't look. If you suffer damage but cannot remove cards from your deck, you are knocked out of the game. Last player with cards in his or her life deck wins. First player draws or rather attempts to summon a card. Reveal the top card from the deck. If its strength is greater than the strength of the last card you summoned, then you've successfully summoned that card. Place it to the right of the last card you summoned. This is known as escalating. If the card is the first drawn, then you're fine. Pass to the next player who does likewise. Eventually, play will pass to the player with the lowest total strength among their summoned cards. If there is a tie and the current player is one of the tied players, then the current player takes the next turn. Draw a card. If higher than the last card summoned, you are good. If lower, you are eliminated from the round, which itself ends when only one player remains. That player adds up the damage values of his or her summoned cards, and each opponent suffers that much damage, removing cards from one's life deck. Draw that many cards, remove one to place in your reserve, discard the rest. Later in the game, when required to summon, you can opt to summon a reserve card instead of one blindly from the draw deck. The game claims to be a push your luck, but it offers no opportunity to stand pat. One must play until they are eliminated. And that's the game. Well, not quite. If by some luck, stressing luck, you successfully escalate, if a summoned card features a summon ability, you may immediately employ it, though that is entirely optional, and it assumes it even applies. Alright, forgot about the reserves. If the card you place into your reserves happens to possess a reserve ability, you may activate that ability. Assuming again, it even applies.
What are your thoughts?
Sorry, there was just one more thing. Once the game is over, the winner can then lay out his or her remaining life cards to divine the past, present, and future. Because I guess that's a thing. Like I said, the game never explains how this is supposed to work, or what the cards mean. Yep, that's it. No, seriously, I'm done. That's Dread Draw. No. I think, okay, but Dread Draw, let's talk about first things first. This is a gorgeous game. Can we agree?
If you like dreadful pictures. With very nice artwork, but dreadful pictures.
She's going to play with that pun. So, yeah, the artwork is, I think the artwork's really good. That's just me. I think the artwork is fantastic. There's some amazing illustrations.
I agree.
There's a lot of room in this deck. There's 3 stuffies in there, so you only get in a game this big, you get about these many cards. And it is, I think, it is up to Upper Deck's echelon of quality when it comes to its art style. I think it's really good for that.
You know how much I don't like this game.
Please tell me how much you don't like this game.
I'll read it out because it's funnier.
Yes.
So yeah, Dread Draw. You don't dread the draw, you dread the game. Because it's dreadfully dreary. And it draws on for a dreadful time. At least that's how I feel, because I feel dreadful. Every time my fiance draws out Dread Draw.
That's
all I
poetic.
have to- yeah,
That's
I know.
poetic. It's
That's
almost.
all I have to say, though.
You could have almost made a haiku out of that. Haiku. This
That's
is a
it.
haiku.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't make sense. Refrigerator. You don't like this game.
I am not a fan of the game. I feel like, one, it's too fast. Although this second round we played, it did go a little bit, lasted a little longer. And we did more abilities. But the overall idea of the game of just pure luck, number by number, it's frustrating. It's dreadful.
You're gonna milk that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna go right into like the alchemistry. Like this game sucks, but this could be the worst game I've ever played. It should be noted that in history, when you had a deck of 52 playing cards, one of the simplest, if not the simplest gambling game you could do is dead draw. And that's simply cutting the deck, revealing the card, and whoever has high wins. It's a very simple betting game. And unless you're Ricky Jay, the late Ricky Jay, rest in peace.
I'm going to give them one more and then do what gamblers call a dead cut, which is literally trying to let my hands reach the deck and cut an ace. This is an acquired skill.
This was not a skill. It was pure random chance. You draw a card. What Dread Draw did, it took that mechanic and turned it into a push your luck game that decided to spin a tarot card reading. Because one of the things about the game which we don't care much about is the fact you can lay out your remaining life deck for the winner and have your tarot reading. We're both skeptics, so and ultimately it doesn't matter. There's no theme in this game whatsoever. It is simply drawing this card and hopefully getting the ability. But you're right, it is incredibly random. I mean, half the time you have no say.
Yeah.
There is no choice in this game.
You can't make any strategy.
Precisely. I draw a 5, you draw a 5, I draw a 3, I lose. That's it. That's it. And if I'm lucky, there's a summoning ability. If there isn't, you just keep on drawing. Take damage. This is depressing too because Upper Deck, of course, they made Legendary.
Before or after?
Oh, this is a new game. This is only came out like this year. Oh, no, this year is in 2019. That would be really fast. But in 2018. Came out in 2018. But yeah, Legendary's been out for...
Let's hope they go back up.
Well, I think there's a part of me that thinks that whoever designed this game had some pull with the company. Like, I want to design a game. Like, you got some great artwork, make a game. They saw the end result and they were like, okay, you get this one. And then you get to do our games from now on, because can I say I'd rather be playing Monopoly?
That's
how low our opinion is of this game. It got the only redeeming feature is the production design of the illustrations on the card. That's really all that it has. The artwork is this game deserves better.
We will not be filling that box.
I don't think anyone will be.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't heard anything about expansions. If there is, I'd be shocked to anyone who's going to pick it up.
Unless they come out with some type of expansion that makes the game more credible.
You would have to rewrite the entire game. Like, you wouldn't be a dead draw, because a dead draw has got the most...
So, Dread Draw 2.0.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to...
A new game.
Yeah. Take the artwork and design a completely different game.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something worse.
I'm still attempting to be optimistic.
I remember the first time we played this game.
Oh, I know. I was angry.
You were angry. Like, I remembered we played out the round. You lost the first round, which didn't help. And I just, okay, you lost. And you just sat there. And it was like...
what was the point of me wasting the last 20 minutes?
It was almost like you'd made a cake and then you dropped it. And there's that quick second where you just realized the world just altered around you. And you're like...
What was the point of that?
And then we played, and you were just like, that can't be it.
And it was.
It can't be it. Like, this cannot be the entire game. Like, please tell me there's more. I go, well, there's words on a few of them. And you're like, that it? I go, yeah.
That do something sometimes.
Yeah.
If they're played in the right place.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like this 5 has a summon card, but if you had drawn a 7 and you had to draw a 5, the 5's ability doesn't cook off and you just lose. Ultimately, the only time you have any skill is when you lose, because when you lose, you can put a card into your reserve pile and then you can play that reserve, right? Like
If you remember it's there.
If you remember it's there, but that's just remembering. Like I made a choice to keep 2 cards that gave me 3 health, which is the only reason why I kind of survived. So those 2 choices were the only 2 choices in the last game we made. The first game we played, there was no choice. So it's funny the fact that if you're winning this game, it is pure luck.
Yeah.
Because you only get to choose when you lose, which is really weird.
Sounds like a great poem.
Not as good as yours. Yeah, so anyway, that's Dread Draw. Pretty game,
Dreadful.
but utterly dreadful. What would you give it on a score between 1 and 10?
If I'm being nice,
Don't be nice, be honest.
2. Solely based on the artwork.
Funnily enough, I agree 100%. I give this game 2 out of 10. 2 is specifically and exclusively for the artwork and nothing else.
Yep.
So that was Dread Draw. I would say
play a game of solitaire. I might as well play a game of solitaire.
Yeah, solitaire actually has a lot more choice. If your game has less requires less strategy than solitaire, you know you've done something wrong. So I would say, even though we're doing this review in 2019, we played this game in 2018. I'll say that this is probably the worst game of 2018 I played.
But technically we played it in 2019 too.
As well. Well, yes, true, but this is a 2018 game, so I'll say this is the worst game of 2018. If we ever do a top 5 list or top 10 list, or top 10 best games, easy. Top 10 worst games, not really difficult to fill. We haven't played a lot of bad games. That would be the one on the list.
That would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I think Alchemistry would be on that list as well. But
yeah, but I like it, you don't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Alchemistry actually has some game to it. This is just a mess.
Drawing on.
This has been Chris from DSX Machina.
And Nicole.
And this has been Dread Draw. Don't buy it.